What is good, everyone? Welcome back to a new week of Hot Streak Podcast. It is the beginning of September today. It's the first day of September. And I'm here with my co-host, Carlos.
What's up, man? How you doing?
We chilling, man. We just came off of what was supposed to be the most hyped fight of all time and the most marketed fight of all time.
The most marketed boxing event of all time.
And it was pretty fun. It was Mayweather versus McGregor. Everyone's been waiting for it. And I mean, I'll just give away my takeaway right off the bat. I saw McGregor go in there and try to do what I think his plan was, just get in there and try to knock Mayweather out with just pure force, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's strong. Apparently he's known for being a strong puncher. And he did get a couple punches in. I saw him get an uppercut and a side hit, but none of them were...
That was actually one of the first times I've ever seen anybody uppercut Mayweather and land it flush. That was a flush landed uppercut right there. What'd you think overall?
Overall, what happened was what I expected to happen. You know, I don't know if I said this last week on the show, but what I expected was McGregor going in there, trying to knock him out real quick in the first few rounds, and then Mayweather possibly knocking him out because McGregor would be so tired at the end, and that's pretty much what happened. McGregor just lost all his energy, and Mayweather just started beating on him. Mayweather looked so fresh, like he was just in same energy he had in the 8th round was way more than he even had in the first 4 rounds, which was crazy. So he was just saving it up, waiting for McGregor to get tired.
Yeah, I totally agree. When this first got announced that they were actually going to fight, I said it. I said that McGregor was gonna lose no matter what, whether it had been decision or knockout. I knew he was gonna lose. I'm glad that the fight wasn't a boring fight. It was entertaining. McGregor did come out with, like you said, he did come out swinging. He did come out ready to try to knock out Mayweather. Mayweather, I mean, is obviously the most experienced boxer, the most one of the greatest boxers of this generation. 50-0, it speaks for itself.
Yeah. Legendary.
So he did definitely hold back. He waited for Mayweather to tire, or for McGregor to tire a little bit. You could tell. He even said it. But one thing I was surprised with, how well McGregor looked in the ring with the first 6 rounds. He didn't look like, there was some weird awkward moments where he was hammer fisting instead of throwing a straight punch or like an uppercut. He was just hammer fisting on Mayweather's head.
Yeah, a lot of illegal hits.
Yeah, the ref seemed to forget the rules. He never really deducted a point or anything, but...
A lot of warnings.
Yeah, a lot of warnings. It was a very entertaining fight in the sense that we never seen anybody who was a professional boxer land that many hits as McGregor did on Mayweather. Like Manny Pacquiao, I think, landed 81 hits, and McGregor had 111 landed punches on
problem,
Mayweather.
111 landed punches, right? My problem with that is how hard was he throwing these punches? Because 111 punches, and you didn't get one that even rocked him.
Oh, I did see one that rocked him. I saw one.
Was he really rocked? It was an uppercut.
No. The one where he hit him in the body. He felt that body shot because he went to grapple.
Yeah, but honestly, for me, it was like I give McGregor props. He's a badass and he's a beast in the UFC. Probably the best in his class or a few classes in the UFC. But boxing, bruh, 111 punches, and you're supposed to be the hardest hitter.
Yeah.
Dude, if any I don't know how many, if these boxers were able to get 111 punches, I think they would throw stronger punches. But the thing is, I feel like all those racked up because McGregor wasn't just trying to knock Mayweather out in the first round. He's trying to rack up points too. I saw half of those punches were just touch punches, just to kind of check where he's there. Nothing really hard, you know, he didn't impress me in the ring at all. He just surprised me that he lasted 10 rounds because he's not a boxer, and he's going up against one of the best. So
they did their homework. The longest fight that McGregor had ever fought in the octagon was 5 rounds. He ended up 5 rounds, so 25 minutes in total. So they just waited for 25 minutes of the boxing match and then put on the afterburners and try to knock him out. And technically, he didn't get knocked out. The referee stopped it because he didn't really seem like he was defending himself. After the fight, said that he was just tired. That's how he gets. He gets wobbly. But I mean, no. I would have stopped the fight. Yeah, I don't think he was rocked.
I had zero problem with that stoppage.
Yeah, I have zero problem with that stoppage as well.
I think it went on too. I think they should have stopped it a little earlier, if anything, for me.
The one thing that I think we both could agree on is that there was no loser because they both got paid.
They paid up right now.
Yeah, they got more than enough money for that.
Like Mayweather said, he made $350 million in 35 minutes. Like, bro, that's not a bad payday for anyone.
And he posted on his Instagram like the next day he bought like a brand new Bugatti. So, I mean, there is no losers.
There's really no loser.
My thing that I want to see next, I definitely want to see McGregor back in the octagon. I don't think he should continue boxing because I think he eventually will just get rocked, and it would kind of just like put a blemish on his legacy. I think he's better off in the octagon, and the UFC could only hope.
He should be happy that the ref didn't let it go on. Because, dude, I had a problem with people saying like, "Oh, they should have let it go. I want to see him get knocked out." To me, it was like McGregor didn't throw a punch in the last like minute and a half, and he was just getting rocked. And it's not safe, but two, it's like, it's not the same rules as MMA where you get to knock them out till they're fully unconscious.
Yeah.
It's different in boxing. They don't, like, people die in boxing. Like,
true.
It's really like, there was a UFC fighter a couple weeks ago. He died in a boxing match just because the ref let it go on too long. Like, if he would have stopped it sooner, that guy wouldn't have died. But that's just what happens because Conor's not really a professional boxer.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully he goes into the MMA or goes back into the UFC, defends his championship that he has there. And maybe the UFC could become a more marketable company and get these higher pay-per-views. Hopefully not, because I'm trying to watch UFC for the low.
Damn,
I ain't trying to watch,
bro.
I ain't trying to watch UFC for $100 per pay-per-view. So I think that's pretty much it. In regards to the fight this past weekend, we actually do have another fight coming up in September. Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G. That should be
Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G.
I don't even know. Gregorian Gregor or some shit. I don't know how to say his name. That should be a pretty competitive fight. Both of those guys have, I think they both only have like one loss each.
No, Triple G's undefeated.
Oh, Triple G's undefeated?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Canelo's going to knock him out, so...
Yeah, so we'll maybe see. One L right there.
Yeah, we'll see. Team Canelo over here. But, yeah, so we'll see what that upcoming main event, and I think we got some NBA news coming.
Yes, we do. My man, OJ Mayo from back when he was on... This is a guy who was... I think he was the number 2 pick.
Out of USC?
He was out of USC. He had a kind of a disappointing career, but he had a lot of potentials. He was supposed to be the next LeBron James. He was one of those. He was the first next LeBron James.
Oh man,
and so many after. But he got out of the league. A lot of problems with drugs and failing tests and stuff like that. So now he's considering a comeback. How do you feel about OJ Mayo trying to come back to the Bucks?
Good for him. I mean, if he makes it, it's pretty competitive out there. There's a lot of competition. The NBA is probably the hardest league to come back into. But I mean, if he makes it, congrats. If he doesn't, I don't know. How old's OJ Mayo?
OJ Mayo, I want to say he's like...
He has to be around 30, right?
Make sure. Yeah, I don't want to... Yeah, he's 29. I mean, he's got a couple years left, but he's not at the prime.
Yeah, he's dwindling.
He was a number 3 pick by Milwaukee. Or, I mean, sorry, not the number 3 pick. He was a number 3 pick by Minnesota, but he's number 3 on Milwaukee. And he hasn't been there for like a couple of years now.
Yeah, I think the last team that he played for might have been the Mavericks or the Grizzlies.
Yeah, the Grizzlies.
So, yeah, I mean, OJ Mayo, hopefully you do make a good comeback. Other than that, I don't really have any opinion on OJ.
Yeah, good luck, man. It's hard out here for a
point guard in a point guard driven league.
Straight up. but good luck. Celtics Cavs. So we thought the deal was over. Finally Kyrie got traded and everyone was happy. I think the Cavs were happy with IT and Jay Crowder and that pick until they apparently were concerned with IT's hip injury.
Yeah, he went through the physical. They weren't really entirely too thrilled with the results of that. Isaiah Thomas said he's going to return, come back as the same player.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know how significantly damaged his hip is.
Yeah,
I know hip injuries are pretty bad. That's like a big area of your body where if you have weak hips in the NBA, you're not going to last that long. So his hip injury, that's the only other player that I know that has had a significant hip injury and his career was over at that point was Bo Jackson.
Oh, right.
In the 1980s when he was part of the Oakland Raiders. Actually, I think they were the Los Angeles Raiders at that time. But he did have a hip injury and he couldn't come back from that. So Isaiah Thomas, in this sense, I'm not saying he did cut that artery or whatever, but it's a significant injury to ward off a team that has decided to trade for you. The Cavs did try to revise that trade and try to pursue Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum.
Oh.
But as far as we know right now at this moment, that trade is at a stalemate. The Celtics and the Cavs are pretty much like locked in on what they want, and they aren't on the same page. I've heard rumors that the trade might not go through, and I've also heard rumors that the trade will go through as planned. So I'm not entirely too sure.
I think the trade, in my opinion, the damage is done and the trade will go through. And I just read a little earlier that the Cavs aren't trying to get Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum or any young stars anymore. And that I guess they're cool with what they have, maybe like a late round pick. But I think the trade will go through just because the damage is already done. And I mean, it's going to be kind of awkward anyways if the Celtics take back IT. And
that would be pretty tough to come back to a team that essentially traded you away, and then
you were the star player. Dude, IT. That's when I heard about this like trade with IT, I felt so bad just because it was like when Kevin Durant left the Thunder, but like reverse and just way more messed up.
Like this guy literally put 11 hours after his sister died, he played a playoff game for you.
Yeah, and finished the series. Finished the whole playoffs.
Finished the entire playoff series that he had
after a tragic accident, like, bro.
And then the fans in Boston, being the loyal fans that they are in Boston, over here burning Isaiah Thomas's jersey. Like, he didn't ask to be traded. He didn't ask to be traded. You guys just traded him anyway. That just shows that Boston fans, I mean, I don't know what you're doing out there. Isaiah Thomas was a good player on your team. He's essentially the only reason why you guys made the playoffs last year. So you're over here just throwing dirt on his name, and I don't believe that's fair. I mean, we've had a bunch of NBA players tweet out that their opinions on that. LeBron James said that the burn jerseys, that's got to stop. It's a business. At the end of the day, the NBA is a business. Everyone is just stock, and you got to have a hard exterior for all these trades and all these free agency signings, because I mean, it's a business. These guys have to do what's best for themselves, and the teams have to do best for the team. So if you're expendable, that's what's gonna happen. Like if the team thinks you're expendable, they'll trade you away or they'll let you walk for free.
Straight up. And it's sad though, because like Isaiah Thomas was doing big things for them. I think him and Larry Bird were the only Celtics players to score more than 20, 25 points in that season, on average. So it's like, it's kind of messed up. That's your star,
Yeah.
But I guess it is what it is. Business is business.
What do you think Kyrie feels about this whole thing? Because
I don't know.
I feel like Kyrie was pretty happy to land in Boston. Now, if this trade doesn't go through, what's next?
Dude, Kyrie, I'm sure he was stoked to be in Boston. If they get Kyrie and this all goes through, they're gonna be a finals team for like the next few years. And
because LeBron might leave.
Yeah, exactly.
Assuming there's been a poll for a couple of NBA executives, and a bunch of them have already circled LeBron James's landing spot next summer, Los Angeles. I mean, that'd be pretty cool to see LeBron out here in LA, or maybe running into him on Fairfax or something.
Maybe at UCLA running pickup games like he was last weekend.
Yeah, Venice Beach, chilling at the beach or something. I don't know, but Kyrie Irving probably wants to stay or wants to land in Boston. That seems like the best fit.
Yeah, that's the only split spot for him to be right now.
Yeah, the only other team that I could think that has that sort of potential to be a contender with the team that they have now, probably I think the Heat, because they have that X factor in Hassan Whiteside. Like, I don't think anybody could guard Hassan Whiteside in the East. So, but at the same time, they still need more pieces than what Boston needs. Boston already has pretty much a pretty good core there. So, I mean, we'll see in the next coming days what the NBA has in store for us.
The Pacers. Just a little update on the Pacers and Lakers situation. There's no real update, but we were looking up like how hard it is to prove tampering, and like we're Laker fans, so I was kind of just like, are my Lakers in trouble? Like, what's good? So I looked it up, and apparently it's pretty hard to prove tampering between executives and players. So it's going to be it's looking good for us Laker fans who definitely don't want any proof of evidence of Magic Johnson talking to Paul George, because it's probably out there, but probably nothing's going to happen with that situation, thankfully. So we can just hopefully forget about it and never hear about it again.
I agree.
Yeah, but that's about it for basketball. We're going to be talking some more football, soccer, and more sports news. Come back and enjoy the music. Yeah.
This is Trey Hermoso, and you're listening to Hot Streak Podcast with Saif and Seagod.
Yo, it's Hot Streak. This is Carlos. I'm with Saif. We in the building. We got some NFL news coming at you, man. Record-breaking extension signed by Matthew Stafford. He's got a $135 million extension over the next, I believe, 6 years? 5 or 6 years. $90 million guaranteed. They're setting the bar high with these quarterbacks. Excuse me.
$92 million guaranteed?
You know what the craziest thing about that is?
What
The Detroit Lions have paid Matthew Stafford. They're going to pay him $92 million in guaranteed money to miss the playoffs. This man's not even going to get through the division.
I have zero problem with Matt Stafford getting this money.
Yeah, I know you do.
Zero problem. Matt Stafford is a beast.
He is a beast. I mean, he's been working his ass off for this team. He's the only reason why this team could even get any wins.
Yeah, and I mean, he did have Megatron and still didn't, do anything in the playoffs. Yeah. But he's not the problem with the Detroit Lions.
Nope.
That's what I say. And he's a solid quarterback. The Bears would be dying for this situation. Let's just say teams like the Niners would be dying for this situation.
Teams with like
the Dolphins.
They should have traded for him, honestly.
He's not an average quarterback. He's way above average.
He's definitely one of the top tier quarterbacks in the league. You could put him up there with I mean, he's getting paid this money because he deserves it. So
straight up. I think if Andrew Luck deserves what he had the highest paid contract right before this, if he deserves that, then this guy definitely deserves that $92 million.
Yeah, I think it's Matthew Stafford, Derek Carr, and then Andrew Luck are the highest paid players in the league. That just means that the ceiling is rising for these quarterbacks. They're going to get paid this money. And you know who's up next for an extension? Your boy Aaron Rodgers. Everyone's saying, when's he going to get paid? When's he going to get paid? Well, the longer he waits, the more money he gets.
I ain't even tripping, bro. I know for a fact Aaron Rodgers is going to die a Packer.
Yeah, that's straight exactly, up. Like, unless he wants to somehow miraculously want to join his childhood team.
He got loyalty in his veins.
Yeah, which I doubt. I don't think he'll ever go to the 49ers. I mean, he's from the Bay Area, So that's why I was saying his childhood team. But yeah, he's definitely going to stay a Packer, and he'll definitely get paid a lot of money next coming weeks, I think, unless they wait till next season, which will even get more money. So
if you weren't able to pick up Aaron Rodgers in your fantasy, Matt Stafford is like the name brand Aaron Rodgers. He's like the generic version, the late round.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is Coca-Cola, and Matthew Stafford's just cola.
So just imagine what Aaron Rodgers is going to get.
Shasta Cola.
I hope Aaron Rodgers takes a little pay cut and just like, you know what? I'm just going to do this for the squad. He seems like that type of dude, but he also seems like I get the money and I deserve it.
He also seems like the type of player that will get the money and still continue to produce, even if he has a bunch of bums on his team.
Bro, he could have a bunch of bums who hate him on his team. Dude, last season, there's so many rumors going about how like no one likes Aaron Rodgers and how he's such a bad teammate and he's arrogant and he does all this weird stuff and he's too overly competitive with his teammates. And still, he took us to the playoffs. He took us to the division finals. Or, I mean, not the division
finals. Conference finals. Yeah, he did.
Like, bruh, this dude puts in work. He could be a one-man show if he needed to. And he's got Marty B this time. Check him out, tight end.
True.
He's going to go off in fantasy probably
the return of Jordy Nelson as well.
Right. Which I heard Jordy Nelson only wants to do 2 years. Couple more years.
Yeah, he said he only wants to play a couple more years in the league before he retires, correct?
He's my favorite like Packers wide receiver. I have him on my profile picture on fantasy. He's my dude. But I do feel him just because like he's already been injured. He got that torn ACL, and then last season he didn't have like the craziest. He did good on paper. He got touchdowns. Like when Aaron Rodgers throw a touchdown, he's throwing it to Jordy Nelson. But he wasn't making those huge plays that he used to make. I feel like his career is on the tail end right now.
Yeah. Just like Anquan Bolden. Anquan Bolden was having struggle. He was with the Bills training camp. He had recently just signed, trying to make the squad, and then he decided, you know what? There's something bigger out there for me. Football's not the only thing that I could do with my life, so he decided to retire. So I feel like a lot of players are going to take that into consideration. The injuries, the lack of security, the health, like everything with football. There's bigger things out there for them. So
yeah.
We're gonna stay in the NFC North. We got the Bears quarterback situation. The Chicago Bears.
So we were just talking. Detroit secured their lock-in quarterback. They're having fun, but now the Bears are in kind of a bad situation when it comes to quarterback. They lost Jay Cutler, which is not a bad situation to lose Jay Cutler, but it is a bad situation to have Mitch Trubisky be your starter. And he's doing decent in the preseason, but
he's a rookie, so there's not enough tape on him to say that he's going to be a bust or anything. But again, he's a rookie, and he's on the worst team in the league.
Yep.
So
what team really wants to rely on a rookie, though? I mean, besides Dak Prescott and these crazy.
Without an offensive line, it's kind of going to be tough. But you could look at previous teams' blueprints and say that if you throw this guy into the fire and put a good system around him and make sure that he stays healthy and keep him on his feet by calling plays that get the ball out quick or relying heavy on the run game, you could mold this young quarterback into a potentially better quarterback. The Oakland Raiders, when they drafted Derek Carr, he was on a really bad team. They went 0-10. They didn't get their first win until week 11, and the average, I believe the average like snap to throw timing was like he got the ball out of his hands within like 2 seconds. So a lot of quick throws, a lot of relying on the running game, and also a lot of 3-and-outs because the offense just isn't good. So in the Bears situation, I think that if you follow that sort of blueprint, if you make sure that you call the right plays for your quarterback and for your personnel, you could definitely get this guy some experience that he needs to succeed
in the future.
Yeah, in the future, because he's definitely not succeeding this season. So
yeah, especially with the news of the Bears' only pretty decent wide receiver, Cameron Meredith. He got carted off the field after a preseason game with the Titans, and this was the guy who 888 yards last season with 66 catches. And he tied the team high with 4 touchdowns. receptions. So I mean, he
pretty
was
decent. Yeah,
he was like their
he was looking to come up this season. Do you know what kind of injury that was?
That was a left knee injury.
Not some good news right
Not
there.
for a receiver. No.
Yeah, definitely. I think I saw that tape of him getting carted off the field. He had an air cast on, and I'm pretty sure that the Bears are going to be releasing more information on that once there is more information to release. So we'll see. We got some. We're gonna head down to Dallas. That locker room is very tumultuous. There's a lot of situations going down out there. Zeke was set to appeal. He sent in his appeal to the NFL this Tuesday, and that is still in process. I don't know what's gonna happen. I think that if they want to continue to have this like no domestic violence stance and like be as strict as they are, I think that the appeal will stand. 6 games I feel like is a fair amount for 2 incidents. He's not guilty because they haven't proven him guilty of any of these things, but the fact that his name is being thrown around with domestic violence itself should be enough to like warn the player, like, look, we're gonna have a 0 tolerance policy on this. If you continue to mess up, there'll be harsher consequences.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you guys listening probably already know what happened, but because it's it should only last till yesterday, Thursday. But I'm guessing that they're gonna give him a suspension. It's just only gonna be 3 games max. I'm thinking 4 games max, but I'm really thinking it's gonna be 2 or 3 games suspension, just because I've seen him. Tom Brady last season 4 games for nothing really proven. In this same scenario, nothing really proven, just a bad cloud over the NFL. So they want to wipe it up with some good PR, and they're going to hand down some
definitely a PR move here.
Yeah. Which is sad because there's real problems happening. They just like totally avoid those, but the ones that are uncertain and not that much proof, they're going to just slap them with that suspension and all the punishment.
Yeah, we also got some more unfortunate news for the Patriots this time. Julian Edelman is going to be out for the season. He tore his ACL on a non-contact injury. I mean, Tom Brady said that it's tough to see these your teammates go down, especially when it's early in the year. He's done for the season, and that's pretty much it on that. He sent out he said he was humbled by all the response that he got. A lot of players and fans wishing him the best in his recovery.
Yeah, if you play fantasy football, obviously you don't draft Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
But that opens up a spot for Danny Amendola. So
and they also still got Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks and Hogan too. Chris Hogan, who made that good play.
Then the Patriots, they could have a freaking traffic cone in there and he'll catch a bunch of freaking touchdowns because that's just the way the organization works, I guess. Something about that system.
Yeah, another Patriots player to look out for is Mike Glissley. He's a running back because their running back was traded, so now they have a lot more, option. And this guy's supposed to be getting a lot of the touches, so if you're playing fantasy football, check him out.
Yeah, we also got some more quarterback news. Young quarterbacks starting in the league, all around the league. Deshaun Kaiser, starting quarterback for week 1 for the Browns. This isn't a new theme with the Browns. The Browns have had 27 quarterbacks, 27 starting quarterbacks since 1999, more than any team in the NFL.
Wow.
The good thing about this quarterback and his situation is that he has Hugh Jackson, who seems to run a very safe offense when it comes to helping his quarterback understand the game. I've been watching a little bit of the highlights. They run a lot of motion, a lot of trying to get to see what the defense, trying to get the defense to play their hand first. So there's going to be a lot of learning for this quarterback. I think it brings up the question. The Browns traded for Brock Osweiler in the offseason. They drafted a quarterback. They brought him in. This young rookie quarterback beat out Brock Osweiler for the starting job. They also have Cody Kessler, who played a couple games for them before getting injured. So what do? Do they wait? Do they keep Brock Osweiler on the shelf? Do they play him? Do they keep him on the shelf until there's an injury around the league? Someone needs a quarterback. He's going to get paid $16 million this year regardless. It's a lot of money to keep on your books. So, I mean, I don't know. Brock Osweiler, obviously, not a good quarterback.
Not the best.
Yeah, he couldn't win the starting job in Houston, so they got rid of him after one season. Obviously, the Broncos didn't have faith in him because they traded him to Houston, and then Houston traded him to the Browns. So the Browns, I think you sit on him, man. Honestly, I think you keep him back there, keep him as a competitor in the locker room, in the practice field, and in case there is an injury, you bring him in. Or in case there's an injury around the league, you trade his ass away because he just doesn't seem to fit anywhere.
Yeah, he needs to find his place. I think do what you said. One of the options was just keep him there until someone gets an injury, whether it's you or another team who needs him, and then trade him away for some cap space or whatever it may be. And just that's what you do with Brock Osweiler, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
He's just average. Really average.
He's your regular Joe Schmo.
Yeah, he's like me if I just joined the NFL like right now.
You might actually get a little bit more yardage with you throwing the ball instead of Brock Osweiler because he just overthrows everything.
Yeah, bro. I think I could beat him in a foot race too if it came down to it. I don't know why I would, but just if it had to. Really? No, I'm just playing now. But yeah. Poor Brock Osweiler. He thought he was going to make the comeback. He was talking. I remember he was talking on. There's rumors or like quotes of him saying, "No one's taking my position," or "I'm a fight for it." Blah 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 for the starting position. But
he fought. I mean, he lost.
He lost, man. Sometimes you just take an L in life.
Yep.
That's what he did.
Yeah, so I think unless you got anything else in the NFL, I think that's pretty much it for this break. Actually, I have some news. I believe that the Cleveland Browns are actively trying to trade their star cornerback and Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden he's established his career as one of the top cornerbacks in the league with the Browns. Unfortunately, the Browns don't win games. So that doesn't necessarily mean that his stock is that high. They are open to listening to offers for him. I assume that they do trade him away for maybe some picks or maybe some expiring contracts so they could get that off the books because I think he's still in contract for about 2 more years. So they don't know if they're going to be able to get him out in time or if they're going to be able to get anything in return for him. So might as well just trade him now. And the Raiders' first overall pick, Garyon Connolly, has finally practiced. His first practice was earlier this week. He's coming off of a shin injury. That's all I know about that injury. At first, I mean, I'm a Raiders fan, so I've been keeping up with this kind of. He hasn't even practiced since rookie minicamps. And that was in, I believe, March or April. Then he reported to camp. The coaches just said he had shin splints. Shin splints turned into a month-long injury. Missed entire training camp and is barely getting back onto the practice field this week. So Coach Jack Del Rio has said that he believes that Connolly will be ready for week 1. So we'll see with that. Raider Nation, keep your eyes peeled for that. And don't be so quick to call him a bust. He hasn't even played yet. So let the man play. You got to believe in this organization right now. The GM has done a great job over the last 4 years in getting an established core. And I believe that there's only an upside from here. So just keep your patience. I know you guys want to win now. So do I. But that's not how the game works.
Yeah, y'all going to stay losing for another 90 years.
Yeah, right, bro. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for the NFL segment this time. We'll be right back. Keep it locked. If you haven't already followed us, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Hot Streak Podcast and on Twitter at Hot Streak Pod, P-O-D. Visit the website, hotstreakpodcast.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? DJ ADM. You're not listening to Hot Streak Podcast.
All right, we are back with some more soccer news. This is Hot Streak Podcast. Welcome back. I just wanted to give a little a little shout out to Texas right now. They've been through a lot. Hurricane Harvey just went in and messed some stuff up. A lot of rain. I've seen some pictures on social media and a lot of videos. It's really sad. So, yeah, prayers go out to them, man. Shout out to Texas. And, yeah, we got some soccer news.
Yeah, so the whole Neymar chronicles, Barcelona was struggling to find a replacement. Look no further. They have signed Ousmane Dembele. He was presented earlier this week. I believe it's a $106 million signing with some add-ons. He's a 19-year-old Frenchman, played for Borussia Dortmund this last season, looking to make his mark. I believe right now there's actually no club soccer this weekend. It's an international break, so there's a lot of players out there with their national teams trying to qualify for the World Cup this upcoming summer. So, I mean, finally, as a Barcelona fan, thank you for signing somebody who is not trash. I hope that he does make a solid impact for the team. He's actually said that he's been a Barcelona fan since a young boy.
They all secretly are.
Yeah, that's exactly what I say too. And he actually turned down offers from PSG and Real Madrid to join Barcelona. So
real one.
So loyalty runs deep. So hopefully, I believe next week they come back from international break. He'll make his debut with the team, and he actually is wearing number 11, Neymar's old number. So there's been a lot of players who have worn that number and done great things with that jersey. So hopefully he continues with that trend, and we look forward to seeing him. All Barcelona fans look forward to seeing him in his jersey or in uniform on the pitch. And staying with La Liga, Real Madrid seem to have struggled without Ronaldo and Sergio Ramos, two of their captains. They actually tied against Valencia this past weekend. They were actually down in that game. They scored first, and then Valencia responded, and then Valencia took the lead, and then right at the end, I believe it was like minute 86 or something, they scored an equalizer. So that was Marco Asensio. He's been on fire this season so far. He scored in, I believe, the last 3 games. Yeah. So he had a brace this last weekend. So they're looking a little weak without Cristiano there, and Gareth Bale is falling out of the pecking order. He doesn't seem to have that much confidence, and Real Madrid doesn't really seem to have that much confidence in him either. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we're gonna go take a trip to Paris. Kylian Mbappe, young prodigy out of Monaco, is set to join PSG on loan until this summer with the intent to buy. So PSG is trying to buy him. I believe FIFA blocked it because there's a fair play regulations that were going to be broken if they did buy Mbappe for 166 million pounds. Actually, I think it's like 166 million dollars. I don't know. It's around that number. So so they're going to buy him in the summer. He's actually a really highly rated talent. He's a young dude, 19 years old, I think. And then once he does sign that contract, his weekly wages will have increased by like 1,000%. So he was making like $3,000 a week or 3,000 pounds or whatever currency, euros, I think. And it's gonna be like, I think 300 or something, 300,000 weekly. Yeah. So that's a jump.
A little pay upgrade.
Yeah, a little pay upgrade for him. So PSG's looking to make some moves, man. They're looking to be a powerhouse team in Europe. They do win the French league relatively easily. The quality of that league isn't up to par with like England or Germany or Spain. So, but now they have their eyes set on the Champions League, and everyone wants to win the Champions League. PSG is looking to make a mark. They always get eliminated in the quarterfinals by Barcelona. So there's going to be some interesting groups this upcoming draw. I think Champions League comes back. I think it might be in 2 weeks when the first Champions League group stages are. And I'm looking forward to that. I think PSG is in the same group as Bayern Munich. So there's going to be some good group stage battles. And Neymar still making news. Neymar over here. We were done. Neymar over here talking. They're actually with the Brazilian national team, him and Coutinho. And he's actually advised Coutinho not to join Barcelona.
What?
Yeah, I don't think it's because he doesn't want the club to be good. I think it's because the whole board of directors is they're kind of shady, and he just doesn't want his buddy to be in the same situation that he was in terms of false promises and all these things that were reasons for Neymar leaving. But Barcelona has not stopped. Barcelona is persistently asking Liverpool for Coutinho's services. They're going to make a final bid of £160 million for his contract. At this point, honestly, I think they're overpaying.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
But he's a quality player. He could play both inside on the midfield or outside. It brings a little bit of versatility to a team that definitely needs a versatile player. So we will see with that. Hopefully by now we know what happens when this airs. But as far as right now, we're still going through that phase of trying to figure that out. So I mean, there's a lot of news. We're gonna take a trip to England now. The Premier League is looking like the top 4 teams in the Premier League right now are probably Manchester United, Chelsea, Manchester City, and I believe Liverpool.
Wow, what happened to Arsenal?
Arsenal. I'm glad you brought that up. Arsenal is looking like they're in shambles right now. They've lost 2 games in a row. They just lost to Liverpool over the weekend, 4-0. And Alexis Sanchez is looking like he's out the door. Arsenal continues to say that they're not going to sell him, but Manchester City is persistently making offers. Manchester City has included an offer of $70 million or pounds, but Arsenal said no. But they're open to listening to a significant amount of money plus a player option where they could get maybe, I think I heard a rumor of Raheem Sterling and money for Alexis Sanchez. So honestly, it's pretty tough watching Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan. It's kind of hard being a fan right now because they're looking so crappy. I don't know. I think it needs to be a change in culture or something because they just can't seem to string together any momentum. And a lot of the players on the pitch on Saturday or Sunday morning were looking like they didn't want to be there. So either get off the team, sell them all, or train harder and get some encouragement, get some motivation because you guys need it.
Straight up. You need something.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're on an international break right now. Club soccer's taking a break. We got World Cup qualifiers, CONCACAF qualifiers. I believe the U.S. is playing against Honduras, and Mexico might be playing against Costa Rica. So, these 2 teams, I think the U.S. needs to win to qualify. Mexico is already halfway in the door. I think if they win one of these games, they're already qualified for the World Cup. But the U.S. does have a tougher schedule or a bigger mountain to climb because they did mess up on earlier qualifying rounds where they lost a couple games and they just decided that they were going to take it easy instead of trying to qualify early. World Cup's coming up in 2018 this summer. It's going to be in Russia.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, man, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. No doubt about it.
I'm trying to go to one of those World Cup games, bro.
Me too. The U.S. is actually trying to get a host. They're trying to become one of the hosts, I think 2026.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean...
And LA, the Olympics, too, right?
Yeah, and the Olympics. Jeez, LA traffic's going to be wild.
It's going to be stupid. With two new stadiums, 4 shitty teams. 4
shitty teams in LA, 2 new
Olympics,
stadiums, World Cup. I don't know. They need some sort of public transportation reform or something.
Yeah. At least.
The minimum.
We need those subway tunnels that Elon Musk was inventing.
Elon Musk making news
just
making
for the
news
World
everywhere.
Cup.
He's in rap music. He's in political news. He's in
Rocket science.
Yeah, rocket science. This guy thinks artificial intelligence is the biggest threat to human evolution. Who knows? Elon Musk, you wild.
Shout out to Elon Musk one time.
Send us some Teslas.
He got a lot of clout everywhere, even on the sports show. Nah, but it's been a good week. I don't know about you, Carlos, but I had a good one, man.
Yeah, I agree. I can't wait for football season.
Dude, one more week.
Yeah.
One more week. Probably even less by the time you guys hear this. So probably like 5 more days.
Yeah, I believe opening day
I think
is
it's the 7th. So actually, no, a week.
Yeah.
A week from now. Exactly
about
a week from now.
A week from now.
Yeah, and then basketball preseason starts, I believe, the end of this month. Ooh, it should be starting. It should be starting like right now.
We're gonna
like
see
tomorrow.
We're gonna see some highly anticipated Lonzo Ball in purple and gold.
Oh man,
Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons coming in hot.
You guys already know it's gonna be a crazy NFL season, a crazy basketball season. All these trades, all these new deals, soccer, all these new trades, all these new deals.
Right? It's
all
just like left and
deals.
right. Left and right, left and right. I don't know where to look.
Yeah,
I'm dreaming over here.
Okay, never mind. We got like a month till basketball starts. Preseason starts the September 30th. Woo! But Lakers play that day against Minnesota at the Honda Center in Anaheim. So you already know I'll probably be not in there watching because it's too expensive, but I'll be outside listening and watching on TV.
At Noble. Shout out to Noble Brewery. You already know. That's the spot.
Shout out to Anaheim one time too. But yeah, it's been a good week, guys. Thanks for listening. Be sure to catch us next Friday. It's every Friday, 1 p.m. Follow us on Instagram, Hot Streak Podcast. On Twitter, Hot Streak Pod, P-O-D. You can follow me on Instagram, Saif, S-A-I-F, K94. And then you can follow Carlos on Instagram.
Yeah, my Instagram's at chef_cgod. And on Twitter, you can follow me at TupacLoveChild. Make sure to follow CRP Shows on Instagram at CRP Shows. You'll get all of Caesar's exclusive content there. You got the Rodriguez Show, and I'm in the AM, Hot Streak, Caesar's Modern Life, and more. Also, catch me on CRP Radio this Sunday at, 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock. You're gonna hear me on there. One of my many talents. So hey, stay tuned.
You got features, bro? You got features you're not telling me about? No,
also, we got some Rodriguez Show news coming up for you guys. So go ahead and follow the Rodriguez Show. You can find all that information on CRP Show's Instagram as well. So we got some big things coming in September. Stay tuned. You already know what it is. This is Hot Streak. Peace.
This was a Cesar Rodriguez production. Check out more at crpshows.com.